fact is, many of us here in Nashville just simply take water for granted. It's literally always at our fingertips. Last year, through our Walk4Water, we not only sponsored a well, but we were also able to sponsor a sustainable agricultural seminar and workshop there in Uganda. Let me read you a little bit about what we did last year as we prepare for raising money again this year. So here is our Change the Cycle Healing Hands International Brentwood, Tennessee Walk4Water Plus 2020 Well Report. Dear Concord Road, thank you for your commitment and trust in partnering with Healing Hands International. Due to your generosity, clean water has now become a reality for an entire community, and the hope of Christ is on display across the world. Your gift will change the lives of many for generations to come. It is our hope that as you flip through this book, you will be reminded that our mission is to advance the kingdom through aiding, equipping, and empowering our brothers and sisters, people that are just like us, that require the basic necessities of life and desperately need the redeeming love of God. I hope you are encouraged by the faces you will meet and the stories you will learn within these pages. The need for clean water is clear. A typical day for millions across the world consists of spending all their time and energy towards finding a water source. The search continues until the last hint of daylight is gone, only to repeat again the next day. This pattern is not sustainable and stunts the growth of families and individuals everywhere. They need clean water. The men have to spend their days searching for water, and they are unable to provide for their families and care for their gardens. Clean water exponentially increases the ability to grow food. Women have to devote the majority of their days walking, only to bring a small supply of dirty water back home. They don't have the time to nurture their families and assist in supplying income for the family. Clean water allows families to flourish. Children often have to assist their parents in the daily search for water. They are unable to go to school. Clean water close to home enables the future generations the time to get an education. Our mission is to change the cycle. Clean water is the life, and when it becomes accessible, everything changes. The confidence of an entire community is restored. Hope is ignited for generations to come. Here is a glimpse of what Healing Hands International wells are doing all across the world. They are drilled in over 20 different countries. In 2020, we had our first annual Walk4Water in Brentwood, Tennessee. Many of you came out and supported it. It was a great success, and we're so thankful for your generosity, donations, and the time you spent supporting by walking. Your gift impacted over 780 lives. We were able to dig a well in Acancado, Uganda. The GPS coordinates are below. Here is a picture of the well and many of the people that have been impacted by it. Thank you for your generosity. Sarah is one of the people in Acancado, Uganda. She's pictured in the blue dress, and before this well was drilled, Sarah and fellow community members spent their days walking to a well that only had water during the rainy season. Because the lines were so long, they often slept at that well in order not to miss their turn to get water. Now the walking and the waiting are over. These ladies will be able to rest easily knowing that their days of sleeping by a well are finished. Sarah and the members of Acancado village pay their children's school fees from the vegetables that they sell. This well will help irrigate the community garden, thereby increasing yields and income for these farmers. Your gift will impact every aspect of their lives. Thank you. The benefits of clean water drastically change a community, but a community can quickly regress into a state of poverty and sickness without it. A crucial component to the Healing Hands International Clean Water Ministry is monitoring the wells we have drilled in the past for any maintenance needs. This process ensures that wells are working properly over time. In the Nadundo community of Ghana, the water source began to malfunction. Without a clean water source, the community was dependent on a stream located 22 miles away. Thankfully, the well has now been repaired. With the remainder of your donations, Healing Hands can repair wells so that people like those in the community of Nadundo are able to continue using their well. A young student in the community named Letitia told us the impact this well is having on her life. She said, "We used to wake up as early as 5 a.m. to search for water, and we would end up going to school late. Sometimes we would end up not going to school at all. This water indeed is a blessing to us. God bless you." Thank you for your gifts and the impact that you have made in Acancado, Uganda. We look forward to what impact we can make this year for clean water. Last year, we not only raised $7,500 for a well, but we also raised enough money to fund a sustainable agricultural garden. Dear Concord Road, your gift is fighting hunger in real and tangible ways. Because of your generosity, children will go to bed with full stomachs for the first time. Parents will know the contentment of feeding their families, and best of all, many will come to know the bread of life. By empowering a network of skilled trainers in 10 countries around the world, we are multiplying the impact of your gift. These trainers share their knowledge with poor farmers, men, women, and children to feed themselves and their families. With gardening techniques that are simple, practical, affordable, and sustainable, they can feed themselves for a lifetime. However, the impact doesn't stop there. The goal is to empower trainees to use what they learn and teach someone else. They are able to incorporate resources they already have rather than focus on what they don't have. The impact is exponential and thousands of lives are being transformed. Thank you for your gift from 2020. What does hunger look like? Here are the facts. 821 million men and women go to bed hungry on a daily basis. 60% of the world's hungry are women. 1 in 3 children under the age of 5 lacks adequate protein for proper brain development. Stunted brain development results in a lifetime impact. These figures are simply unacceptable in a world where we are blessed with the resources to fight hunger on a global scale. It is predicted that 2 billion people are expected to be undernourished by the year 2050. When men are equipped with the education and confidence to provide for their families, everything changes. Women are responsible for producing 60 to 80% of the food in the developing world, but only own 1% of the world's land. When women are empowered with skills and tools, families and communities flourish. Nearly half of all childhood deaths under the age of 5 are attributed to hunger and malnutrition. When parents have the means to feed their children from a thriving home garden, the next generation is set up for success. How do you take people from hunger to harvest? Here's where the solution begins. Number 1, the solution to chronic hunger begins with equipping and empowering farmers with the knowledge and skill sets to raise their own food for their families and communities, despite local variables and conditions. Number 2, as a result, families are able to stabilize their food supply by producing a second crop during the dry season. We are helping bring food security through preserving the excess in the rainy season and planting a second crop with drip irrigation in the dry season. Fruits and vegetables can be preserved using solar dehydration, and meats can be preserved by salting, smoking, and curing. Number 3, when hungry people in villages, prisons, orphanages, and schools learn the simple techniques used in growing a garden bed, it gives them a new sense of hope. They gain confidence and often say, "I can do this." Now they have the skills to train others, and the impact is exponential. Healing Hands International has developed workshops in 37 countries. Here's an example of where they are doing those workshops all over the world. Agriculture is the single largest employer in the world, providing livelihoods for 40% of today's global population. It is the largest source of income and jobs for poor rural households. At Healing Hands International, we are grateful for the opportunity to work with trusted partners and trainers around the world that take on the responsibility of leading local workshops in their regions. Their commitment towards fighting hunger is a key component to the success of the Hunger to Harvest ministry. Your impact. Our Hunger to Harvest ministry aims to teach skills that are simple, practical, affordable, and sustainable. In each 2-day training workshop, attendees learn in both the classroom and in the field. Trainees learn to form raised planting beds, making compost piles and homemade fertilizers, install drip irrigation lines and bucket systems, and plant seedlings. Your gift provided training in these areas to 28 people in the community of Acancado, Uganda. These trainees are pictured to the left with their newly installed raised beds and irrigation system. Bob Akala is a preacher and is excited about how these skills can help him in his work. Bob said, "I love this training. I have acquired new skills. These skills are easy and practical. This training will not only benefit me, but also I will involve the entire congregation. This training will help the church grow." The people in the Acancado area traditionally grow cassava and sweet potatoes, but do not have the knowledge needed to have a truly successful harvest. Trainee Mary Aiken said, "This training will transform my life. With this knowledge of composting, raised planting beds, and drip irrigation, I will be able to produce more food during the day season for my family and have some to sell." Your gift is making an eternal impact. Thank you. Well, that's our report from last year. Again, I'm excited for Saturday, September 25th at 9 a.m. You can click the links below and that'll take you where you can register and donate. Come out and join us as we raise money for yet another well and support Healing Hands in their desire to change the cycle and bring clean water to everyone.